Hey everybody, this is Kim Siever with Hot Pepper Communications. We specialize in writing, editing, and social media management. Sexist stereotyping, despite efforts spanning decades to change it, still exists, and it's pervasive in how we communicate. Sexist stereotyping, well, stereotyping in general, is a poor way to communicate because it relies on assumptions and generalizations that don't often apply to the situation at hand. Here are 7 ways to avoid sexism in your own writing, but this is by no means an exhaustive list. Number 1, address men and women uniformly. If you know the form by which a person prefers to be addressed, use it. If you don't, address men and women equally. For example, Mr. Smith and Ms. Jones. Note, you could use Miss or Ms. too if it's preferred, but I advocate for using Ms. whenever possible. In formal correspondence, don't use Dear Messieurs or Dear Sirs or any similar format when addressing a body of several individuals. Instead, use phrases like Dear Board Members or To Whom It May Concern. Number 2, use parallelism. I've talked about parallelism in the past, and it's a good tool to use when talking about men and women together because it treats them as equals. For example, John Smith and Julie Brown, Mr. Smith and Ms. Brown, J. Smith and J. Brown, John Smith the writer, and Julie Brown the doctor. Same goes for couples. Gone are the days when we write Mr. and Mrs. John Smith. Instead, use one of the following: Mr. and Ms. John and Betty Smith, John and Betty Smith, Mr. and Ms. Smith, John and Betty. Even though work relationships have a built-in superior subordinate dynamic, still use parallelism. Julie Brown and her assistant Kevin Jensen, not Julie Brown and her assistant Kevin. And for that matter, don't feel pressure to always refer to the man first. Number 3, gender-neutral pronouns. There's no gender-neutral singular pronoun in English. Traditionally, he has been used, but that's obviously sexist. As I've indicated in the past, using there is a perfectly reasonable alternative and has been in use for centuries. If they sound too uncomfortable to you, try these 5 tips to avoid using singular pronouns. First, avoid using the pronoun altogether. Second, write in the plural instead. Third, repeat the noun. Fourth, use a neutral word such as one. Fifth, use second-person pronouns. Number 4, don't use gender pronouns to personify objects. When you personify storms, events, ships, and so on, avoid using feminine and masculine pronouns. Just use it instead. For example, Hurricane Irene made landfall in St. Croix as a strong tropical storm. While crossing Puerto Rico the following day, it strengthened into a Category 1 hurricane. Number 5, avoid terms and titles that refer to sex. When writing titles or terms for occupations, avoid any that suggest the job is not normally performed by one sex or the other. Here are some examples. Use letter carrier, not mailman. Spokesperson or representative, not spokesman. Chairperson or chair, not chairman. Firefighter, not fireman. Counselor or not councilman or alderman. Technician, not repairman. Police officer, not policeman. Trade worker, not journeyman. Cleaner, not cleaning woman. Fisher, not fisherman. Related to that, avoid feminizing titles with s, et, or ix. Use actor instead of actress, usher instead of usherette, etc. Also, avoid using terms like lady doctor and male nurse. Number 6, don't use man as part of a compound. Try avoiding using man as a part of a compound when referring to people in general. For example, average person, not common man. Ordinary people, not the man in the street. Staff, operate, run a booth, not man a booth. Labor force, personnel, staff, workforce, not manpower. Synthetic or manufactured, not man-made. Humanity, people, not mankind. Compatriot, not countryman. Finally, number 7, use inclusive words for relationships. Unless you're speaking about a specific relationship, avoid stereotypes in relationships. Use parent and child, not mother and child. Doctors and their spouses, not doctors and their wives. So again, here are the 7 examples of sexist language to avoid in your writing. Address men and women uniformly. Use parallelism, gender-neutral pronouns. Don't use gender pronouns to personify objects. Avoid terms and titles that refer to sex. Don't use man as a part of a compound. And use inclusive wording for relationships. As I mentioned previously, this is by no means an exhaustive list, but I hope you found it useful. If you have tips you want to add, let me know in the comments. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment. Visit me online at hotpepper.ca. Also check me out on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Google+, and LinkedIn.